This is Support is Sexy, episode 368, and we're continuing our series on the 12 lessons of sexy. Today is day 5, and we're going to talk about you're not a tree, you can move. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi there, and welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm happy to have you here. It just would not be the same without you. And today we are continuing our series on the 12 lessons of sexy. We're at day number 5. And today I want to talk to you about a lesson I learned recently from Heather Havenwood. Heather is the author of Sexy Boss, and she was on episode 356. And Heather talked about so openly, which I so appreciate all the women on the podcast doing this. But she spoke so openly about her experience with a business partner, taking all of her money, leaving the business, and this really low, tough period that she went through. And she got to the point where a friend of hers, who was also a mentor, had to say to her, "You're not a tree, you can move." And that just resonated with me in so many ways. You're not a tree, you can move. And he was talking to her about getting up off the couch, getting out of that slump, get going and move, physically move from one location to the other. So you're not a tree. You don't have roots in the ground that keep you from moving. But it resonated with me because I also thought about a physical move, but also a pivot or a reinvention, and how we get stuck in thinking that we have to stay where we are because either that's what we said we were going to do in the first place, or this was the thing that we've been talking about for so long, or this is the thing that I studied in school, so I have to. For whatever reason, we come up with many excuses to stay stuck. So what I'll ask you in thinking about that lesson, you're not a tree, you can move. I will ask you, are you stuck or are you comfortable? See, that's the thing. Some of us associate being quote unquote stuck with being in a quote unquote bad place. Like we're stuck, we can't move, things are going wrong. I can't move because of this reason. I can't move because of that reason. Or all the other things I said before. I've already put so much work in. I've already told everyone I was doing this. This is what I studied. I'm in a bad place. I'm stuck. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes the reason you're stuck is because you're comfortable. Now, Heather was talking about a bad time that she was going through and how she was moving through it. But I want to challenge you again. Are you stuck or are you comfortable? Because sometimes you're stuck because the place you're in just seems too damn good to leave, right? Sometimes you're in that place. Have you ever been there? I remember when I had a 6-figure salary in media years ago and I was super comfortable in my job. I had a super job and a super place in Brooklyn and super things and super friends, but I was also super unhappy. I knew that there was more for me than schlepping back and forth to the office that I was going to at the time, and it was far from Brooklyn, all the way on the west side, going back and forth to work, working on content that didn't really speak to who I was or the audience that I was really passionate about. And it didn't have the impact that I knew I was capable of. Nothing was wrong with it. My jobs in media have been fantastic, have given me extraordinary experiences in the job, outside of the job, being able to travel, all the people I've met, all the content I've been able to create. But I got to the point where I knew there was something more. But I was stuck in that really good thing, the golden handcuffs, they call them. Things are so good, especially at a job or career, whatever you're in, that it's difficult to leave and you feel stuck. There's nothing wrong, though. Let me say this. Nothing is wrong with a 6-figure job, okay? Let's be clear about that. 6-figure job, nothing wrong with that, especially if that's your aspiration now. Maybe you're not there yet and you're on your way. Maybe you want to be there. Maybe you're there and you love it there. I'm speaking about my experience. It wasn't even the job. It was me. That's the thing, too. Sometimes it's not the job or the place you're in that's, as we said, quote unquote, bad. It's you. It's time for you to change. So nothing wrong with that 6-figure job, especially if it's taking care of you and your family and it aligns with who you want to become. Trust. Part of my vision includes 6 figures, but my goal now is for a 6-figure month. It's audacious, but it's possible. I know that it's possible because I have a possibility mindset, which we're going to talk about later as one of our lessons. But this is one of my audacious goals, to have 6-figure months. But I could not do that if I did not move. I had to move out of a position that had me going into a certain office, a certain amount of hours per day, and that kind of thing. That would not be possible, or I didn't feel like what my vision is would be possible if I was still committed to that, because it was a big job. It wasn't like a side job, obviously, because I was getting paid well. So it took a lot of commitment, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of my personal resources as far as my energy and that kind of thing, to focus on that job, to do well, and to be the best I could in that position. So for me to have the possibility of achieving the dreams that I have now, I had to move. And the decision to move now, it makes you uncomfortable. As we said, you might be in this place where you're stuck because things are all good. So when you move, it means getting uncomfortable, facing your fears, and it requires you to have courage. So this doesn't mean that you have to be fearless. I actually don't like when people say, be fearless, don't have any fear, go for it, don't worry about anything. No, you are probably going to have to do it afraid. You're not going to wait until that fear goes away, because it may never go away. Do it afraid. What it means is you have to be brave and make some brave decisions. And brave decisions aren't always easy to map out in your head. You can get cloudy about all your choices. You're trying to figure everything out on your own. I know I certainly went through that, trying to figure everything out on my own. This is one of the reasons, actually, I was inspired to create the free audio course that I offer, How to Make Brave Decisions, which you can find out more about at makebravedecisions.com, because I went through that cloudy period when I was considering my physical move from my adorable apartment in Brooklyn to be closer to my family in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're in that space and you need some help getting unstuck or making your next big decision about whatever that is, I offer to you, take this free course on how to make brave decisions, makebravedecisions.com. It's an audio course over 3 days. It's emailed to you. It's easy. You can listen anywhere. And we talk about what it means to make those brave decisions, how to map it out, weigh your options, and how to come up with solutions and take inspired action. Taking inspired action is a key after you make the decision. The decision is one thing, but then you have to take action. And we talk about how to do that bravely. So once again, what I want you to remember from this lesson today is what Heather's mentor wisely told her. You are not a tree. You can move. You are not stuck. You just need to make some decisions about which direction you're going to go in next. And look, one other thing I want to say. Just because you want to move doesn't mean you hate where you are or that there's anything wrong with where you are. It could be simply that it's just time to make moves. Sometimes we think, I must hate this job, I must hate this relationship, there must be some quote unquote hate involved. That's not necessarily the case. Again, sometimes it simply means it's time to make moves. Maybe you've learned all you can learn there. You've experienced all you need to experience there. There's something out there that is meant for you. Something in you knows it, and it's time to make moves. You are not a tree. You can move. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that lesson today. Think about where you are in your life. Are you feeling like it's time to make a move, a shift, an adjustment? It doesn't have to be a physical move. It could be a reinvention. New Year is coming. People are kind of in that space or thinking about that. So I want you to check in on yourself and see if it's time for you to make some brave decisions and make moves. Now, before you go and make that move, one thing I do want to share with you, some great news. We are partnering with Audible, and they are offering a free gift to Support is Sexy listeners, which I'm super excited about. If you love audiobooks as much as I do, and I sure enough love them, I listen to them late at night when I go to sleep, put on the audiobook, put on the timer, and it's fantastic, great to listen to during the day. But for me, it's my wind down time. I listen to audiobooks that way. So Audible is offering you a gift as a Support is Sexy listener. You get a free 30-day trial plus a free audiobook to get you started. So to find out more, I want you to go to freesupportissexybook.com to sign up. Again, to sign up, freesupportissexybook.com. All right. So I truly appreciate you being here. I know we go through these periods where we feel like we're stuck. We need to adjust. It's time to make moves. There's reasons that we're fighting it. Things might be all good, or you can be stuck in a position where things might not be going so well. We talked about that in the last couple of episodes, going through those low periods and how to get through that. Whatever it is, know that it gets better. This too shall pass, no matter how low it is, no matter how stuck you feel, no matter how hard it is. This too shall pass. You just have to keep going. And of course, get support, because I want you to remember, no matter what, you deserve support. All right. Thank you again for being here. I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. And until then, take care.